Rise and shine. It's science time. Good morning, class. Before we start, let's have the prayer first. Lamiko Joyce, can you please lead the prayer?
All right, let us bow down our heads and pray as we all say in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God, we thank you for today and for this opportunity to learn. Please guide our minds and hearts as we engage in our studies. May we learn with patience and perseverance. This we pray in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Next slide, please. Good morning once again, class. We're thrilled to be here today as we impart knowledge on an exciting journey. With each idea we share, we hope to spark curiosity and inspire new insight. Now, let's embark on this adventure together. I am Charlie Maysino Daza. You can call me Teacher Cha.
And I am D. Sairi J. Risha. You can call me Teacher D.
I am Grishome Tugunan and you can call me Teacher Gratch.
And I am Romel Giampad. Just call me Teacher Mel.
And I am Francis Gabriel Caballero. You can call me Teacher Francis.
I am Jonalyn Talibotap and you can call me Teacher Jonna.
And I am Cherry Ann Bok. You can just call me Teacher Cherry.
And we
And we
And
are
we
are
are
your
your science
science
teachers.
Teacher
teachers.
for today.
Oh, hi kids! I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we have something really fun to share with you. Are you all excited? Yeah, hey! Let's begin!
Ready for the song in one or two or three. Then sit properly. Science is ready.
Lessons are all new. All you have to do, listen to your teacher to learn something new.
Hey, science time, oh, it's science time.
Get ready, it's more fun, more activities. Hey,
Science time, oh, it's science time.
I like it, I love it, I love my teacher too.
ready for the song. One or two or three. Dance it properly. Science is ready.
Lessons are all new. All you have to do, listen to your teacher to learn something new. Hey,
Science time, oh it's science time. Be ready, it's more fun, more activities.
Hey, science time. Oh, it's science time. I like it, I love it, I love my teacher too.
Alright, so class, for your attendance, kindly input in the info messages your favorite planet.
All right. While you are typing your favorite planet, now, before we start our discussion, we prepared something really fun, a game called What Am I? All you need to do is to read aloud the riddle and tell the correct answer of what the riddle describes. If you want to answer, just raise your hand. I just want to ask class, are you all ready? So without further ado, let's begin. Next slide, please. Yes, may I have Montemayor?
Yes, teacher. I rise in the morning, bright and bold. I warm the earth with rays of gold. I set at night, but don't be blue. I'll return again, shining bright and true. What am I? Is it sun, teacher?
Let's see if Montemayor answer is correct. Next slide, please. Very good, Montemayor. Your answer is correct. It is sun. Next slide, please. Yes, may I have Gilbuena?
I float in the sky, fluffy and white. Sometimes I bring rain, sometimes delight. I change my shape and I drift and glide. What am I that travels wide? Is it clouds?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if Gilbuena answer is correct. Fantastic! Gilbuena answer is correct. Next slide, please. Yes, may I have Igay?
Appear after rain, a colorful arc, with red, orange, yellow, and shades that spark. A bridge of hues in the sky I create. What am I? A sight that's truly great. Is it rainbow?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if Igay answer is correct. Next slide, please. Very good, Igay. Your answer is correct. It's rainbow. So next riddle, please. Yes, may I have Layasan?
So I wax and wane in the night so clear, a silver glow that brings you cheer. I pull the tides and light the dark. What am I as the stars spark? Is it moon?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if Layasan answer is correct. Next slide, please. Very good. Layasan answer is correct. Next riddle, please. Yes, may I have? Mm-hmm. Let's see. So may I have Bardon?
I twinkle at night, a distant light. Some say I guide, a beacon bright. In constellations I make my mark. What am I shining in the dark? Is it stars?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if Bardon answer is correct. Very good, Bardon. Your answer is correct. It's stars. So you really did a great job, class. So give yourself a very good clap. And now, let me call on Teacher Cha to continue.
Thank you, Teacher Mel. All right, class, your energy and enthusiasm really made a difference. I love seeing how engaged you all. Remember, these energizer are not just for fun, they just help us connect and get ready to learn together. Let's begin. Next slide, please. All right. So now, based on these two illustrations, what can you observe in the first illustration? Yes, may I have Madison?
Thank you, teacher. So, um, of the illustration provided, the first illustration teacher is I see a sun, clouds, and rainbows that represents daytime.
All right. Yes, very good. Thank you for that, Madison. How about Ruby Jane for the second illustration?
The second illustration, teacher, I see moon, stars, and clouds that represent nighttime.
Yes, very good. These two illustrations represent us daytime and nighttime. So, based on your answers on what you have observed in illustration, what do you think is our lesson today? Yes, Erica?
I think it's natural objects in the sky, teacher.
Yes, exactly. It's natural objects in the sky. Next slide, please. So before we dig deeper into what are the natural objects in the sky, let's define first what is natural objects means. Next slide, please. Okay, so natural objects that are not man-made, they are part of God's creation. So they are not made by people, instead they are created by nature or by God. Next slide, please. Okay, so by this one, what two words can you describe in this picture? Yes, Chris Aibo?
Daytime teacher.
Yes, very good. It's daytime. Next slide, please. So now, can you look outside and what do you think are the natural object that we can see in the sky during daytime? Okay, let's have Dungog.
I can see a sun teacher.
Yes, very good. How about Suntusidad?
Yes, teacher, I can see here some clouds, teacher.
Yes, very good. And how about Ibanez?
Sometimes, teacher, I see the rainbow during the daytime.
Yes, very good. Next slide, please. Okay, so during daytime, we can see sun, clouds, and sometimes we can see rainbow during daytime. So now, first, let's tackle about the sun. So now, what song comes to your mind when you see the sun in the morning? Yes, Dora?
I remember the song You Are My Sunshine, teacher.
Yes, exactly. You are my sunshine. And I think Teacher Gretch mastered that song. Teacher Gretch, can you sing that song, Teacher Gretch, so that we can hear your beautiful voice and how important the sun is? Teacher Gretch?
Okay, Teacher Cha. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. So the song You Are My Sunshine class relates to the sun by using it as a symbol of brightness and joy. So just as the sun brings light and warmth to the world, without the sun class, everything can feel dark and gloomy, similar to how life can feel sad without that special person, either your parents or your friends.
Yes, thank you so much, Teacher Gretch. But don't worry, class, I also prepared a song for us about the sun. So are you all excited? Yes. So now I'm going to sing it first, and afterwards we will gonna sing it together. So the tone of this song is just like Twinkle Twinkle of the Stars. Okay. Shining, shining, golden sun, warming everyone. Oh, what fun! Rising high and shining bright, bringing joy with morning light. Okay, now it's your turn to open your mic and let's sing it together. Shining, shining,
Sun,
golden
golden
sun,
sun,
warming
warming
everyone.
everyone. Oh, what fun!
Morning and
Rising
joy,
high, shining bright, bringing joy with
morning.
morning light.
Okay, thank you so much, class. Very good. And yes, sun brings us morning light. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now who wants to read what's on the slide? Okay, let's have Montalvo.
Sun. It is the center of the solar system. It is a hot ball gases. It also gives us heat and light.
All right, thank you so much, Montalvo. So the sun is like a giant fireball in the sky. So it is the center of our solar system and it gives us heat and light. And without the sun, our world would be dark and freezing. It also helps us plant grows and gives us energy to do our daily activities. That's why the sun is very important. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so now next is the clouds. Just like the sun, I also prepared a song for the clouds. I'm going to sing it first, but afterwards, I want one volunteer to sing that song. Okay, let's begin. Clouds, clouds, floating in the sky, drifting above us way up high. Clouds, clouds, come in every shape. One thing I know is clouds are great. Okay, now, okay, let's have Joyce Bardon. Let's hear from Joyce.
Clouds, clouds, floating in the sky, drifting above us way up high. Clouds, clouds, come in every shape. One thing I knew is clouds are great.
All right, thank you so much, Joy. Let's give Joyce a virtual clap. And also, a what a nice clap. Do you know how to do a what nice clap? So it's just like this. One, two, three. One, two, three. What a nice! All right, class. So now, next slide, please. Okay, who wants to read what's on the slide? Okay, may I have Kilario.
Clouds, they are made up of liquid water droplets that are mostly of white in color.
Yes, thank you for that, Kilario. So clouds are fluffy and white floating in the sky. But did you know that they are made of tiny water droplets? Sometimes they turn gray and bring rain. Clouds gives us shade from the hot sun and help bring water to the earth, which plants and animals need to survive. So that is the clouds. Next slide, please. Yes, okay, next is the rainbow. And yes, of course, I want also one volunteer to sing the song, but I'm going to sing it first. Okay, are you all excited? Who wants to sing? Okay, just like this. Rainbow, rainbow, high and bright. Rainbow, rainbow, made of light. From the clouds down to the ground, I see colors all around. Okay, may I call? Yes, Mr. Orion Campos. Okay, let's hear from Campos.
Hello, teacher. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, teacher. Rainbow, rainbow, high and bright. Rainbow, rainbow, made of light. From the clouds down to the ground, I see colors all around. Thank you, teacher.
All right, thank you so much, Mackenzie. So now let's give Orion a what a nice clap. One, two, three. One, two, three. What a nice. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. So next slide, please. Okay, who wants to read what's on the slide? Let's have Ikong.
Rainbow, it is a multicolored curved line in the sky. It can be seen when the sun shines through the falling rain.
All right, thank you for that, Ikong. So a rainbow is like a nature's magic painting in the sky. It appears when sunlight passes through raindrops, creating beautiful colors. And the rainbows reminds us how wonderful and colorful the world can be. right? So they don't give us water or light, but they bring happiness and amazement to everyone who sees them. So now, who can still remember the seven colors of the rainbow? Yes, Pacaldo?
Yes, teacher. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So the seven colors of the rainbow, teacher, are the Roy beef, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, teacher.
Yes, very good. Thank you for that, Pacaldo. And how about, do you still remember the mnemonics of the seven colors of the rainbow? Yes, Aligway?
Roy G. Beef teacher.
Yes, very good. R for red, O for orange, Y for yellow, G for green, B for blue, I for indigo, and V for violet. Next slide, please. Okay, now, based on the picture that you've seen, what two words that you can describe in this picture? Yes, Dungog? Is Dungog around? Okay, let's have Nietzsche Belmonte.
Nighttime teacher.
Yes, very good. It's nighttime. Next slide, please. Yes, so now, what are the natural objects in the sky that you can see during nighttime? Yes, Dayuday?
Moon teacher.
How about Patpat?
Stars, teacher.
Yes, and also we can also see clouds at night. So next slide, please. Who wants to read what's on the slide? Yes, Itorma?
Moon. It is the second brightest object in the sky after the sun. It is the only natural satellite that revolves around the Earth.
Thank you for that, Itorma. So the moon is the biggest round shape we can see in the sky. So the moon moves around the earth and changes shape. So sometimes looking like a banana or other times like a full circle. So it helps light up the night and controls the ocean tides, making it very important for nature. So now let's move on to the next natural object, and that is, next slide, please, the stars. So who wants to read? Okay, let's have Dakolyo.
Thank you, teacher. Stars. They are very large ball of bright, glowing hot matter in the sky. They give out heat and light.
Yes, thank you, Dakolyo. So stars are natural objects that we can see in the night sky, and they are essentially massive ball of gas. Each star is incredibly far away, and their light takes years to reach us. So which is why we see them twinkling from the earth. So next slide, please. Yes, so we can also see clouds during nighttime. So they are made out of liquid water droplets that are mostly of white in color. So we can also see them at night. So clouds are the natural objects that we can see at night, often enhances the beauty of the night sky. So they are made of tiny water droplets that from when the moisture in the air cools down and condense. So at night, when the sun is down, clouds can appear in a various shape and size. So now, to know that you are listening, I want you to answer this question. Next slide, please. So, what are natural objects in the sky? Can you see during daytime? Okay, let's have Muntimayor and also explain their beauty.
The sun, teacher. The sun's bright The sun brightens our days and makes everything feel alive and cheerful.
Yes, very good. How about Ikong? Is Ikong around? Okay, let's have Racho.
Clouds teacher. The clouds comes in different shape and can bring rain to help plants grow.
Yes. And next is Saldua.
Rainbow, it appears when sunlight passes through raindrops, creating beautiful colors.
Yes, very good. The sun that gives us light and warmth, the clouds that indicate water signs, and the rainbow that make the sky magical. Next slide, please. Yes, so you're all correct. Sun, clouds, and rainbow. Next slide, please. Okay, now, what are the natural objects that you can see during nighttime and also explains their beauty? Okay, let's have Christina Gilbuena.
Moon teacher. The moon shines softly at night, creating a peaceful and calming atmosphere.
Yes. How about Pacaldo?
Yes, teacher, stars. Stars sparkle in the night sky, forming patterns that inspire wonder and dreams.
Yes, and also we can also see clouds during nighttime. Very good class that you are really listening to Teacher Cha. So the moon that shines softly at night. Next slide, please. Yes, the moon that shines softly at night, the stars with twinkling lights, and also clouds during at night. So together, class, these natural objects create stunning scene that makes us appreciate the beauty of the world around us. So to learn more, let me call Teacher D.
All right, so good morning, class. Can you hear me? Okay, so now, can next slide, please? Okay, so the question is, what are the activities we do during daytime or nighttime? But before that, can anyone tell me what happens when it is daytime? Yes, Ikong?
The sun is shining, teacher.
Very good. The sun is up and we do many things when it is light outside. But when it's nighttime, what happens? Can anyone? Yes, Kareel?
It gets dark, teacher.
Yes, it gets dark. So the moon and stars come out. At night, we do different things than during the day. So let's talk about the daytime first. So when the sun is shining, we do things like what? Can anyone tell me? Raise your hand, please. Yes, Jacques.
I eat breakfast, teacher.
Okay, so that's a great answer. So eating breakfast helps give us energy for the day. Yes, Arcilio?
Um, we go to the park teacher.
All right, so going to the park is fun daytime activity, especially when the weather is nice. Anyone? Yes. Bardon?
Helping our mom clean the house, teacher.
Very good. So that's nice. Spending time with the family, also helping at home is a kind and responsible thing to do during the day. So can you think of something fun you do during the day? Anyone? Yes, Kareel?
Usually, teacher, I walk and play with my dog.
All right, so that's Sweet. So playing with your dog is a fun and caring way to enjoy the day. So yes, Jenny Beth.
I eat ice cream, teacher.
Okay, so ice cream is a perfect treat on a sunny day. Yes, Ikong.
I go to the mall with my friends and family teacher.
Right, so that's nice. Spending time with the family at the mall and friends can be fun and exciting. So that is great. So you all have awesome daytime activities class. So now let's talk about nighttime. So when the sun goes away and it gets dark, we do other things like what? Raise your hand. Can anyone tell me? Yes, Santosidad?
I love to watch movies, teacher.
Great. So watching a movie is a cozy nighttime activity. Okay, yes, Bardon?
I look at the stars, teacher.
Alright, so that's beautiful. So stargazing rather is a quiet and magical way to enjoy the night. Yes, Tampos?
I pray and go to sleep, teacher.
Wow, so that's very thoughtful of you. So saying prayers and getting good sleep helps us peaceful and rested. So class, you did such an amazing job sharing your ideas today. So we learned that during the day when the sun is shining, the sun is up, we do fun and busy things like going to school, playing outside, and helping our families. And when night comes, the sky gets dark and it's time to slow down, watch movies, say our prayers, and get some rest for the next day. So, thank you for being such great listeners and for raising your hands to share. So, I'm so proud all of you. Now, the teacher Cherry.
Thank you so much, Teacher D. So, good morning once again, class. Can you hear me well?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you so much, Faith. So, now let us proceed to our next lesson. Kindly, next slide, please. All right. So, class, to start, can you please tell me what are the objects that you can see on the picture? Kindly utilize the chat box for your answers. Very good. So, I see sun and trees. Very good. So now, class, which object do you think produces light? Can I have a hand? Yes, Maria Kyle.
The sun, teacher.
Very good. Now, Kyle, do you think that the light passes through the tree based on the picture?
I think teacher no, because the light is being blocked by the tree, teacher.
Very good. So the light is being blocked by the tree. Now, what is formed when the light is being blocked by an object or by the tree? Can I have a hand? Yes, Johnny Beth.
Shadow, teacher.
Very good. So it produces shadow. Great answers, class. Next slide, please. Kindly, next slide. All right, thank you so much. So today we are going to move forward to our next lesson, which is the sun and how it affects us. But before we proceed, I have a question for you, class. In your own words, what do you think is the definition of the sun? Can I have a hand? Yes, Igay?
The sun, teacher, is the star at the center of the solar system.
Very good. Can I get another answer? Yes, Joyce?
It's a big ball of hot gas in the space, teacher.
All right, great answers. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So the sun is a big ball of hot gas in the space and it is located at the center of our solar system. The sun gives us light and heat, which is essential for life on Earth. And even though the sun is very far away from us, its light and heat still reaches us daily. Next slide, please. Now, class, here is a picture of a flashlight and a ball. So, when the light coming from the flashlight hits the ball, what do you think is produced? Can I have a hand? Or you can type in the chat box your answers. All right, so it produces shadows. Next slide, please. Okay, so who wants to read the slide? Yes, Jenny Rose.
Shadow and how it produced. A shadow is a dark area formed when an opaque object blocks light from a light source.
Thank you so much. So a shadow is a dark area formed when an opaque object blocks light from a light source. Next slide, please. So a shadow class, it moves or changes position depending on the position of the light source as well. Now we know that the sun changes position throughout the day as we revolve around its axis. So the sun appears to rise in the east and sets in the west due to the earth's rotation, and since the sun is our source of light, the position and length of the shadows will also vary during the day. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in early morning, just after the sun rises in the east, it sits very low on the horizon. So at this time, sunlight hits the ground at a very sharp angle. So when light hits the object at a low angle, it creates long shadows. So based on the picture, which direction is the shadow going to? Yes, Marielle?
Based on the picture, teacher, the shadow is going to the opposite direction from the sunlight, teacher.
All right, thank you so much. So the shadow goes against or to the opposite direction from the sun's light. So in the first figure, in the morning, the sun is low in the sky, so its light comes from the side. So this makes your shadow look long and it points towards the west. On the second figure, at noon, the sun is high above your head, so the light shines almost straight down, so your shadow becomes very short. And in the evening or afternoon, the sun starts to go down in the west, so the light comes in from the other side now, and your shadow gets long again, but this time it points towards the east. So to conclude, the length and direction of your shadow changes depending on where the sun is in the sky and the angle of the sunlight hitting you as well. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So in this picture class, can you please tell me what is the sun doing in the picture and how is it helping the water in the ocean change? Yes, Bebe J.
The sun is heating the water, teacher, and it makes water vaporize.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So the sun gives off heat which warms the surface of the ocean. This causes the water to change into water vapor and rises into the air. This process is what we call evaporation. But that's just the beginning. The water vapor goes on a journey through the atmosphere and comes back to Earth in different forms. So let's explore this amazing journey called water cycle. Next slide, please. Right, thank you so much. So the water cycle class, this is a natural way in which water moves around our planet. So water is always changing places, going from ground to the air and back again in a cycle or process. So this cycle never stops. Next slide, please. So, class, imagine a puddle on a sidewalk after it rains. So, when the sun shines and it's very hot outside, what do you think will happen to the puddle? Yes, Joyce?
The puddle, teacher, will dry up.
Very good. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So the drying of the puddle, this process is called evaporation. Evaporation is when the sun's heat turns the water into a gas called water vapor and it rises to the air. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So now that the water vapor is up in the sky, whenever the air gets cooler, the higher it goes. Next slide, please. So this process is called condensation. Who wants to read the slide? Can I have a hand? Yes, Mary Faith.
Condensation is the process when the water vapor from evaporation transforms into liquid water. The condensed water turn into clouds, which then later on produce precipitation.
Thank you so much. So condensation, this is when water vapor or the water in the air cools down and turns back into liquid water. So these droplets of water can then be formed as clouds. Next slide, please. Thank you. So since clouds don't hold water forever, when the droplets gets too heavy, they fall back to earth. This process is called precipitation. Next slide, please. Kindly next slide. Thank you so much. So who wants to read the slide? Can I have May Angeline?
Okay, teacher. Precipitation is a process where the liquid water precipitates back to the earth in the form of rain or snow. The rain or snow water runs off the surface of the earth and will be used again for evaporation.
Thank you so much. So the last process of the water cycle is called the precipitation. So this is where the liquid water precipitates back to the earth. So it can fall as a rain, snow, sleet, or even hail, depending on how cold the weather is. So that would be all for my part. I will now give the virtual floor to Teacher D.
Thank you, Teacher Cherry. Next slide, please. All right, so today we are going to talk about something that is always around us, which is the sun. So, can anyone tell me one thing the sun does for us? Yes, Niche?
It gives light, teacher.
Yes, very good. How about Kyle?
It makes us warm, teacher.
Okay, so the sun gives us energy, helps plants grow. But did you know that the sun has both positive and negative effects on us? All right, so let's learn about that. Next slide. Next slide, please. Previous slide, please. Okay, thank you. So, there are positive effects of the sun. So, the sun affects our bodies, our mood, and even our health. So the first one is enhances mood. So when we spend time in the sunlight, it helps us feel happier and more cheerful. That is why playing outside when we are a kid on a sunny day can make us feel so good. So the next one is prevents depression. So sunlight helps our brain make special chemicals that keeps us from feeling really sad or tired all the time. So it helps us stay in a good mood. Next is improves sleep. So the sun helps our body know when it's daytime. So when it's nighttime to sleep, if we go outside, during the day, we sleep better at night. Next is promotes vitamin D. So vitamin D is something our body makes when the sun touches our skin. So it helps keep our body strong and healthy. Lastly, we have strengthening bones. So vitamin D also helps our bones go strong, like how milk helps our bones. So the sun is healthy food work together to make us grow tall and strong. Next slide, please. All right, so let's proceed to negative effects of the sun. All right, so next slide, please. Okay, so kindly tap the heart button if you have ever looked at your shadow when you are outside. Okay, so we're going to learn something amazing. So, how people in the past used shadows to tell the time before we had clocks or watches. So, a long, long time ago, before phones, watches, or even wall clocks, our ancestors looked at the sun and its shadow to tell the time. So, when the sun moved across the sky, the shadow of a stick or post on the ground would change direction and length. People noticed this pattern, and do you know what they did? Next slide, please. So, they made the first timekeepers. So, this is called sundial. So, sundial, next slide, please. Alright, so a sundial is a device that indicates time by using the shadow cast by the sun. So in short, it tells the time using the sun's shadow. So in next slide, please. So let's break it down how it works. So these are the parts of a sundial class. So as you can see there in the center of the sundial, there is a stick called gnomon. So that's how it pronounced gnomon. So this stick stands tall and stays in one place. The gnomon is the most important part because it is the part that casts the shadow. So as the sun moves across the sky during the day, the shadow of the gnomon also moves. So the shadow changes its position, growing longer or shorter depending on the time of day. So now, here's how people used the sundial. So we have there the dial plate. So this is the flat surface of the sundial where the gnomon stands. It's like the face of the sundial. And we have the shadow showing the time. So the shadow as the sun moves, the shadow of the gnomon falls on the dial plate. So the position of the shadow tells us the time. And we have there the hour line. So to make it easier to read, people drew lines on the dial plate that show where the shadow should fall at different times of the day. So these lines are called hour lines and they help us know exact hour by the position of the shadow. So when the shadow falls on a specific hour line, you know what time it is. So that's pretty cool, right? So people use sundials during the day, especially when the sun was shining. So, to know the time, the beauty of the sundial is that it worked without any batteries or even electricity. So, just the natural power of the sun. So, now I have a question regarding of the sundial class. So, what do you think is the most important part of the sundial? Can anyone? Yes, Joyce?
The Gnomon teacher.
Yes, exactly. So the gnomon is the stick in the center, right? That casts the shadow. So without it, we wouldn't be able to tell the time. Next is, why do you think that the shadow moves off the sundial? Can I have a hand? Yes, Faith?
Because the sun moves across the sky, teacher.
Yes, very good. So the sun moves across the sky during the day, and as it moves, the shadow from the gnomon changes. So this helps us know class the time by looking at where the shadow falls. So, what do you think the hour lines on the sundial are used for? Yes, Erica?
I think it is to tell the time based on the shadow's position picture.
Okay, so yes, that's a great answer. So the hour lines shows us where the shadow should be at different times during the day. So they help us figure out exactly what time it is. So do you think sundials would work on cloudy days or at night? Yes, Crystal?
For me, teacher, no, since we need the sun to make the shadow.
Correct. So sundials only work when the sun is shining because we need the shadow to tell the time. So on cloudy days or at night, we can't see the shadow. So sundials won't work. So why do you think it is important to know that the time in the past? Can I have a hand, please? Again, why do you think it's important to know the time in the past? Yes, Ella Ray?
So people can plan their day and do their works or activities at the right time, teacher.
Exactly. So knowing the time help people organize their day, whether they were working, eating, or resting. So it also helped them keep track of important events like when the sun was high in the sky for the best time to work. So last, can you think of any modern tools we use to tell the time? Yes, Crystal?
Like our accessory, which is watches, teacher.
Okay, so yes, Nietzsche.
Phones, teacher.
Yes, very good. Yes, Kyle.
Clocks, teacher.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes, Kareel.
We also have computers, teacher.
Yes, correct. So today we use watches, phones, and digital clocks. But it is interesting to think how people used to rely on the sun for the same thing. So sundials were one of the earliest tools for telling time. So you really understood how sundials work and why they were so important to people in the past. So always remember, class, that even though we have modern clocks now, it is really cool to see how people in history were able to tell the time with just the sun. So keep thinking about how we use nature to help us. Teacher Gashal?
Okay, thank you for that, Teacher Dee. So, good morning once again, class. I am Teacher Rochelle, and I'm very happy to see all of you present today. And now, let's proceed to our next lesson, class. So, are you excited to know what our lesson could it be? Can I see hard reacts? All right. So, before anything else, next slide, please. So, I want you to look at this picture, class. So, can you see these figures, class? I want you to observe them. Observe the black circles in both figures. So I have a question. Are the black circles in figure A smaller or is it bigger than the black circles in figure B? You can raise your virtual hand if you want to answer. Yes, I see the hand of Santosidad.
Yes, teacher. I see that the black circles in figure A is smaller than the black circles in figure B.
All right, thank you for that, May. But class, believe it or not, but the black circles are of the same size in both figures. So next slide, please. So as you can see, class, in the slide, both black circles are the same size. So maybe most of you observe that the black circles are smaller in figure A and bigger in figure B. So why do we perceive the size of the black circles this way? So what is the difference between the two figures then? Anyone? You can just try answering, class. There is no right and wrong answer. Yes, Mary Faith?
Is it because of the gray circle, teacher?
Okay, how about Pat Pat?
Because our eyes are the trick teacher.
All right, so next slide, please. Okay, so the major difference, class, is that the gray circles, just what like Faith said, is surrounded by the black circles. So our eyes are tricked to believe that the black circles are smaller when compared with big gray circles. Comparably, it becomes perceived as small or big depending on how small or big it is being compared with relatively. So that is why in figure A, the gray circles is big. We perceive the black circles are smaller. While in figure B, we see a small gray circle, so we perceive the black circles are bigger. So do you understand, class? Can I see heart reacts? Okay, so next slide, please. So here, let's observe figure A. So I want you, class, to move towards your phone, laptop, or any devices you are on. So you must observe, class, okay? Focus only on the gray circle. Move towards your phone, then move away from the device, okay? Can everybody please follow? Move towards your phone, then move away from your device. Okay, so raise your virtual hand as soon as you see any changes, class. Just focus only on the gray circle. All right, can I see hands? Yes, just a babe.
When you move towards a teacher, the gray circle becomes bigger, and when we move away, it becomes smaller.
All right, thank you for that, Jessa. So as you have observed, class, or you notice that the gray circle becomes bigger when you move towards it. On the other hand, the gray circle becomes smaller when you move away from it. So in this lesson, we will explore how size and distance are determined relatively with our planets. So class, what could be our next lesson? Can I see raise? Yes, Nietzsche.
The solar system picture.
All right, so next slide, please. Yes, the solar system. So have you ever seen a planet, class? Where do you think we live, class? What planet do we live? Have you ever wondered what goes beyond our planet? Does it have another planet like us? So next slide, please. Okay, it's activity time. So I want the class to be grouped in 5 groups. So group 1 will be Abanyo to Bardon. Group 2 will be Belmonte to Dacolio. Group 3 will be Dayuday to Lacno. Group 4 will be Layasan to Pacaldo. And group 5 will be Patpat to Igay. So you must recognize your group, class, or you can just take a screenshot. So can I see heart reacts if you're react done screenshotting? Okay, thank you for that. So next slide, please. So what I want you to do, class, is to arrange the planets from the innermost to outermost. So the inner must be the sun, okay? So as you can see in the slide, there are planets, right? And there are letters in the planet, like planet A, planet B, planet C. So you must arrange them from what you think is the innermost to outermost. So you will comment your answer in the comment box and choose a representative in explaining your answer. So for example, you will put in the comment box the sun, planet A, planet B, planet C, planet D, planet E, planet F, planet G, and planet H. So do you understand, class? Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes to complete your task. I still can't see your answers, class, by group. Okay, I see here the group 1. Oh, I see here the group 4 already. How about the 2, 3, and 5? Okay, there are only 3 and 5. Okay, there. And lastly, for the group 3, you must choose a representative class to share your answer, okay? Are there no representative for group 3 class? I mean, yeah. I still can't see your answer, group 3. I still can't see your answer, group 3. I will call the group 1. So who is the representative for group 1? Can you share your answer?
All right, so good morning, teacher. So, our answer would be Sun, and then planet C is for Mercury, planet E, Venus, planet A is Earth, planet D is Mars, planet F is Jupiter, planet H is Saturn, planet B is Uranus, planet G is Neptune.
Okay, so what made you believe that the picture you arranged belongs to a certain planet and is in the correct order? Group 1?
Because of the color, teacher.
I see. Okay, so how about group 2? I see here the name of Ruby Jane in the in call messages. Can you share your answer? Okay, so yes, Erica Jane.
I think it's because of the color and size picture.
Okay, so how about Nietzsche?
Alright, so our answer is we have Sun, we have planet C, which is a Mercury, planet E is Venus, planet A is Earth, planet B is Mars, planet F is Jupiter, planet H is Saturn, planet G is Uranus, planet B is Neptune.
Okay, so what made you believe that the picture you arranged belongs to a certain planet? Group 2.
It's because of the color and size picture.
Okay, I see. So how about group 3? So I already see here your answer. Yes, Kilario.
So our answer teacher is first Sun, next is planet C, the Mercury, planet E, the Venus, planet A, which is Earth, planet D, Mars, planet F, Jupiter, planet H, Saturn, planet B, Uranus, and planet G, Neptune.
Oh, all right. So what made you believe that the picture you arranged belongs to a certain planet? Group 3.
Because of the color 2 teacher.
Okay, so how about group 4? Who is the representative of group 4? So I see here Bebe J.
Good morning, teacher. So our answer teacher for the group 4 is um the sun. Next is the planet C, which is the Mercury. The planet E, which is the Venus. The planet A, which is the Earth. Next is the planet D, which is the Mars. Then the planet F, which is the Jupiter. Then the planet H, which is Saturn. Then the planet G, which is the Uranus. And then lastly is the planet B, which is the Neptune.
All right, thank you for that. So what made you believe that the picture you arranged belongs to a certain planet? Group 4.
Because of the size and the color, teacher.
Okay. And lastly, for group 5, yes, Santa Sociedad.
Okay, so Sun, teacher, planet C is Mercury, planet E is Venus, planet A is Earth, planet D, Mars, planet F is Jupiter, planet H is Saturn, planet G is Uranus, and planet B is Neptune, teacher.
Okay, thank you for that. So what made you believe that the picture you arranged belongs to a certain planet? Group 5.
I think because of the color also, teacher, the size, and its characteristics.
All right, thank you for your answers, class. So you will know if your answers are correct after our next activity, okay? So next slide, please. All right. So for your next challenge, you must arrange them again according to its size from smallest to biggest. And you can also put your answers in the comment box. So by group, everybody. All right, I see your answers here. Thank you for that. So I see the answer of group 1, group okay. So okay, group 4. How about group okay, group 3 and 5? Okay, since we are waiting for group 5, I have a question, class. So, how do you think, or how far apart do you think are the planets from each other, class? Are they far or yes, Desiree? Desiree, I
Okay,
mean.
teacher. Um, I think, teacher, they are very far apart from each other.
Okay, so how do you think, or how big are the planets, class? Do you think? Yes, Diche?
It is big teacher, but I think it is smaller teacher compared to the sun.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your participation, class. So next slide, please. Okay, so I want you to look at this class. So the solar system consists of 8 planets that revolve around the sun in a specific order, each with distinct characteristics such as color, size, and diameter. So the first planet from the sun is Mercury, a small gray colored planet with a diameter of about 4,878 kilometers. Next is Venus, the second planet, known for its yellowish white color and thick atmosphere. So it is similar in size to Earth with a diameter of 12,104 kilometers. And the third planet is Jupiter, known for its same size but its blue color with white clouds and green-brown land masses. So it has a diameter of 12,756 kilometers. Following Earth is Mars, the fourth planet, often called the red planet because of its rusty surface. So it is smaller than Earth class with a diameter of 6,787 kilometers. And the fifth planet is Jupiter, the largest in the solar system, known for its orange and white bands and the great red spot. So it has a massive diameter of 142,796 kilometers. So Saturn comes next as the sixth planet and is famous for its beautiful rings. So it has a pale golden color and a diameter of 120,660 kilometers, making it the second largest planet. And the seventh planet is Uranus, which appears pale blue due to its methane-rich atmosphere. It has a diameter of 51,118 kilometers. And finally, the eighth and farthest planet from the sun is Neptune, which has a deep blue color and a diameter of 48,600 kilometers. So each planet in the solar system class is unique in appearance and size. So based on your answers earlier class, is your answer wrong or correct? Can I see heart reacts if it's correct or sad emoji if it's wrong? Okay, let's see. Oh, so as I see your answers, group 1, sleep and D. Oh, you got wrong. For the group 2, planet E, planet A, planet D, planet F, H, G, B. So I guess you got the correct answer, group 2. All right. For the group 3, planet C, E, A, D, F, H, B, and G. Okay, very good. Group 3. How about group 4? Can I see the okay? Group 4. Planet C, E, A, D, F, H, G, and B. Very good. And for the group 5, C, E, A, D, F, H, G, B. Okay, very good. So for the second activity, let's see if your answer is correct. So I guess C, D, E, A, B, G, H, F. So I guess your answers are correct. So give yourselves a virtual clap class. Okay? Very good. So to those who didn't get the correct answer class, don't worry. For you to understand better, Teacher Ave will guide you. But since there is not enough time, we will meet again next meeting, okay? So goodbye class. Thank you for participating. Thank you so much and we will meet again next meeting, okay? Thank you.